do you have a tip on how you stay mentally healthy?
Good question. I think sort of what we've talked about already, which is I think the biggest tip is to talk. And I think something I've learnt throughout my life is if you don't and you bottle things up, you're going to run into difficulties. Whereas if you do and you kind of release that and you just have it out with people and talk things through, or just get a sort of, actually, yeah, this isn't such a big problem, or actually other people have got a similar problem, or whatever it might be, it is amazing how suddenly you just feel better and you just start feeling that actually that big thing that was being built up in your head is a bit smaller.
Talking and taking a bit of time sometimes, every now and again. So listening to your head, your body. If you need to take a bit of a break, even if it's just a day, but having someone that knows you inside out is helpful. But not everyone has that. But my tip is, if you've got someone in your life, husband, wife, partner, and you're able to talk to them about these sorts of things openly, do it as much as you can. Because problem shared, problem halved, that sort of thing. You've got that emotional support. It's key. And if you don't have it with someone at home, a colleague, friend, Samaritans, anything. As long as you're talking to someone, it's the important thing. I think it was it's not cage fighting, mixed martial arts, something that went on. Went a bit viral with a man who had, sorry, he said positive note, but it could go a bit dark here, but a man, his friend, had taken his own life. Not something I think we've touched on. It's the prevalence that's higher in men. And he said that I'd rather you were crying on my shoulder, I'm paraphrasing, but rather you were crying on my shoulder than attend your funeral. And that's any friend would say that to you if something had happened to you. If you that any friend would be there for you. So opening up, not overthinking it, but opening up to anyone is going to be a positive thing. And yeah, taking a bit of time where you're not at work. If you want to be alone, be alone. If you just want to put on Netflix, do that. If you want to go for a walk, exercise, whatever it is that you like doing, book. Just take some time where you're not constantly under the pressure that you're under.
I think there's an element, just final thought to pick up on that. I think there's something you talk about masculinity, and maybe as we've been talking, sort of processing. I think bravery is perhaps something I would think of now, because traditionally you'd think of that as someone who's going into battle and they're sort of the first in, and maybe that's what we're doing. And it's sort of, people have got to be brave, and particularly men have got to be brave and saying, actually, this doesn't feel necessarily comfortable, this doesn't feel the way that we've been brought up to do things, but we are going to start releasing all of this stuff that's in our heads and just talking to people about it. And I've seen posts on social media recently where people have been openly talking about the fact that they've had mental health issues, and someone sort of sharing they've been depressed and they've had depression, and sort of talking that through and saying, I don't know why, I don't understand it, I don't see, if you look at my life, I've got family, I've got all the sort of things and aspects that I'm supposed to have, that anyone objectively looking at this would say, oh, you should be happy, but they're not in that place. And I think just sharing those messages and talking about those things for all the people that might be experiencing those things elsewhere that perhaps aren't yet at that stage where they're comfortable sharing it, I think that is a huge thing. And I think the more people do this, you can kind of look at it as you're helping others. Because if you're doing it, you're encouraging those people. They don't have to be quite so brave because you're trailblazing it. And I think positive message to end on would be encouraging everyone to do that, because then it's paving the way for more people to be able to get help or get support that they need.
Could even be to do with struggles at work, like the dyslexia, ADHD, undiagnosed, they're struggling with that and it's getting on top of them. Being able to be open with someone about that could open up doors to support. Sexuality as well. Some people just, there's something that they aren't yet comfortable sharing. Finding someone that they can share that with as a starting point to, being who they are fully, having some sort of openness to it, and it's massively important. start somewhere.
Well, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.